This is the Tascam DR-70D 4-channel recorder. The reason I'm making this video is because I normally mount this to a camera. I put a quarter 20 cold shoe mount on the bottom here, and then I tighten it onto the cold shoe on the top of the camera on a DSLR camera to mount it. And this little metal piece inside of here actually broke on me when I really didn't think I was tightening it that much, but it snapped inside of there and broke. And so I had to go inside of there and actually use some like JB weld to try to put it back together. But I did contact Tascam, and they were able to give me a replacement part, or send me a replacement part, which cost about $16 in total with shipping and everything, which is a little much for this small piece right here. But this is the piece that we're talking about, and it's mounted inside of the camera there. So it's just a little tiny piece of metal. It's got a hole here to actually mount it to the body of the recorder on the inside, or the internal components of it, which I'll show you here in just a minute. Let me see if I can focus a little closer on this. So you can see it's got the threads here in order to mount it to a camera, and then it's got the hole that the screw goes through to hold it in place, and then a couple little notches on here to keep it aligned properly. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually install this inside of the recorder here and show you just how this comes apart and how it's done. So I've got a little screwdriver kit here. These are all just Phillips head screwdriver, or Phillips head screws, so it shouldn't be too difficult to find a screwdriver that will work. I think this one should work fine. Okay. This is the only screw that is different. It's larger than the other one, so it's easy to tell it apart. That goes right next to the mounting hole here. And I'm trying to remember whether there are any other screws that we need to actually remove. I'm gonna go ahead and take the memory card out just to keep it out of the way. I don't think that there are. I don't think you have to remove that one, so let's just find out here. And these parts just sit right inside of there. You don't have to remove any screws in order to take those off. Oh, I forgot one right there. So that would help if I didn't miss any of these. So now this entire bottom plate should come off fairly easily. Just slightly pulling it apart. So now we can see inside of here and see where the metal piece actually sits. And there's one little Phillips head screw that holds it in place. So we'll just remove that. And you can see where I actually used some JB weld to try to put this one back together. Let's see if I can focus closer here. So I actually put some JB weld to try to hold this piece together, which it did work when I was really careful with it, but I'm afraid that it would break very easily. I would have hoped that Tascam would have used better quality metal for this, because this is kind of that brittle metal that doesn't take much abuse. And it would have been nice if they could have used steel or something that was stronger. Okay, so we're going to set the old one aside, bring the new one in. And when I called Tascam, it was hard to get a hold of anybody. I tried calling their parts store phone number that was listed on their website, and that just gave me a place to leave a message, which was never returned after about 2 weeks. And so the small screw is going to hold this in place, and then once we get it all back together, then this larger screw will end up going through there to hold the whole thing in place. So I ended up, I think, calling the number that was listed for their customer support hotline, or customer support line that helps if you have questions about how to use a product or something like that, and they were able to transfer me over to the parts company or the parts store, and then I was able to order the part over the phone. And they did have to look for a couple minutes to find the part. The gentleman didn't know for sure if they had it. It's listed on here as a guard shaft DR-60D, so it's the same part apparently that the 60D uses. So in case you need to order it, that's what I would recommend ordering. Okay, let's go ahead and put these screws back in place. And the final screw, and everything is now back in place. So we have the place to put the memory card. We can go ahead and put the memory card back in. Batteries compartment there. Our cover for the back still goes in place. Everything's totally sealed up, and you should be good to go. And that's how to replace the camera mount in case it would happen to break on you.